with red trim and weighs 160 1/4 pounds. From Hartford, Connecticut, he's undefeated as a professional with 13 consecutive victories, 12 by KO. Ladies and gentlemen, John Scully. And his opponent fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the blue trunks with white letters, he weighs 159 1/2 pounds, from the Motor City, Detroit, Michigan. An excellent professional record of 20 victories, 14 by KO, only 4 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, Brett, the Irish Hawk Lally.
And there's a look at Brett Lally, going by the moniker the Irish Hawk. Lally very confident. Both these fighters extremely confident. You always hear that from fighters, but in this case, you really think it's genuine. Scully taking a step up here.
He really is. He's a very fine boxer. You saw that graphic on the screen. He lost to Darren Allen in the semifinals of the '88 Olympic trials. He had beaten Allen in the Eastern trials, and Allen got back in as an at-large berth. And Scully lost a very close decision, and he feels he won.
Good, quick
welcome to big-time boxing, says Brett Lally.
Yeah, Lally was very confident, as we mentioned this morning, and he said, in fact, that Scully essentially has been in elementary school, and tonight he's going to go to college.
But I'll tell you, look what Scully did. He switched to southpaw right away, and is staying in that now. He's telling Lally something. He's saying, all right, you hit me with that right hand, but now I'm going to show you a different look. And he nailed Lally with a good right counter as he came in. The body work by Brett Lally.
He went up, though, was caught in the gloves.
And I think if Theodore Roosevelt was going to say something to Lally, maybe other than bully, or to Scully, instead of bully Lally, he would say, walk softly, but carry a good left hook.
I like that. I like that. Clash of heads early on, too. Here's the knockout ratio for both men. Scully, but remember, Scully has not fought the caliber of opponent that Brett Lally has.
Yeah, that's exactly true. Interesting to see Scully come out here so much as a southpaw, landing good counter shots. He's going to have to do that against Brett Lally. He's going to have to land as Brett comes in.
He did, and he caught him with the left hand. He's still going to have to watch the headbutts, too. Lally, in fact, has a tendency to duck in, I should say. Good combination by Scully.
I don't think Brett thought he was going to see a left-hander. I mean, and Scully surprising people a little bit with this switch here.
Scully got the better of that exchange.
Now Scully switching back to the right-handed stance.
There's a little bit of blood on the forehead of Lally, and I think that was caused by a headbutt.
They've been banging heads in there to be sure.
Yes. A lot of action in this first round. And both men giving and taking.
Good counter right hand there by John Scully. And if he can keep doing that, keep countering Lally. But here's what Lally needs to do. Get in there and really work that body.
So we come to the end of the first round, and this is one of those rounds that's going to be extremely difficult to score. We'll be back.
The countering of Scully will be important. Watch this right that Lally walked into. Nice replay that shows you how Scully can use those short punches as Lally's coming in.
A lot of action in that first round. We start the second round.
I talked about the body punches. Our punch profile people, Bob Canogio and Logan Hobson, informed me that Lally only threw 17 body shots in that first round. and that's not really as many as he should be throwing.
But he did throw 20 more punches.
Yes, and I did end up giving him the round.
Interesting first round, because the early rounds, of course, will sort of set the tone for the judging standards. And that round, as we mentioned going away, was a particularly tough one to score.
Very close. Lally had a lot of trouble making the 140-pound limit when he was a junior welterweight, especially towards the end. And you look at him, he doesn't look like as much fat, if any, on that body, and he's up to middleweight.
Yeah, he really looks like he can handle it. He actually took 2 years off of boxing. He didn't fight in 1985 or 1986, and he feels actually in its way that it really helped him.
Probably a little burnout. He'd been boxing since he was 15 years old. He's 26 now, and he just felt that a little too much boxing maybe.
Good right hand there off the right.
That wobbled Scully.
Yes,
he was hurt by the right hand.
And Lally knows it now. He didn't think it was when he first landed the punch. Now he's right on top of him, and Scully covers up. I don't think Lally really knew for just an instant that he had hurt him.
It was hard to tell at first, but then Scully's legs buckled a bit. John Scully back to right-handing, so we're seeing a lot of switching early from him. There's Lally inside working that body like he should. This round has been what Brett Lally wanted in this bout, I think, so far.
Three-punch combination again by Lally. Lally with a pretty good second round here, and as you mentioned, really doing much more of what he set out to do. Inside of 10 seconds remaining. Second round. This one much more in the favor of the man in the blue trunks, Brett Lally. And we'll take you into the corner of John Scully. Scully with 13 wins. He's knocked out 12 of his 13 opponents.
Back straight into the punch. That's why he hit you.
It's Matt Buckley who will be talking to him, familiar boxing guy from Hartford.
Listen to me. Get back and straight up, all right? When you get under, work and then step over. You can box him like he's saying, but you can't box him backing up. All right? Let him come to you in box, but then when you get back in under, step around him. Don't step straight back. That's what he wants you to do. The minute you finish punching, he slugs from the outside in. Go around him.
Mac has brought John Scully along rather quickly. He's only been fighting for a year. At one point, he had 4 fights in 21 days. Now look at Lally's punch here.
Overhand right to the temple. Impressive that he stayed up, because that was a very good punch landed to a tough spot. He's a tough young man. Everybody tells you that, and we saw evidence of it today. And all those people here from Hartford, over 300 of them have come. They got all the rooms here at the show, but they must have gotten our rooms.
I think
apparently.
they did, yes.
We're not here.
Look at the punch profile from the second round, and Lally is much more effective in this round.
Yeah, he really did good work in that second round. John Scully may have to land something to back him up, and I am not sure that staying as a southpaw is the answer for him, because I think he punches with a little more power as a righty, and he's going to need to land something that's going to make Brett Lally respect his power.
Let's take a look at your card through the first 2 and giving Lally both of them.
First round, very, very close. Could have gone either way. The second one, I thought, decisively for Lally, and now he's working the body and the head.
Doing a nice job. 4-punch combination, all scored that time by Lally. Right-hand counter punch by Scully.
Lally told us today, and you can see evidence of it, that he's a more patient fighter. There was a time when he would just come in and just wail away and be a whirling dervish and miss a lot of punches. Even though he still does that to an extent, he's more selective in the punches he throws now. Ironically, as you look at Lally, now that time he did it. He got his left foot outside the right foot of Scully as a southpaw and was able to get in and land well. Not much of this fight has he been doing that, and yet he's still landing effectively.
He's doing great work to the body, and that is setting up the punches to the head that come behind him.
Talked about that in the keys. He needed to do that.
Lally took a step back that time, but I don't believe that was for a punch that Scully threw. Lally, good right hand again. Good round for Lally.
Well, this fight strategically is not going the way Brett Lally would like. And the body work that he is doing will take its toll on Scully.
Lally hitting him largely on the arms, but at some point that's going to drop the arms. Good round for Brett Lally into round 3. We'll be back. Round number 4. And Brett Lally starting to really tip the fight in his direction. He said that fighting middleweights, they would be a step slower, and so far that has really borne out. Talking about the fact that Brett Lally was doing a job to the body, and these numbers will certainly substantiate that.
Landing a good percentage, and of course your percentage of body shots normally is a better land percentage than the head, but Brett has thrown those body shots with conviction. Scully's starting to land the right hook from the southpaw stance.
Scully covering up pretty well, and all those shots by Lally missed, landed on the arms, but of course there's the Mike Tyson theory, and that is you hit the man anywhere you can, including the arms.
Scully a devotee. Good countering by Scully. That's what he was doing in the first round. Now he's back to right-handed. He is a real boxing devotee, a fan of it. One of his idols is Archie Moore, of course, the great light heavyweight who had such a terrific defense. Good countering by Scully.
Scully doing a nice job.
He's now being more offensive-minded. He's going to need to be. He's switching back and forth from lefty to righty, and I'm not absolutely positive that in his mind he's doing it with a great design. I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Buckley really says something to him in between the corners about staying with one or the other more often.
Blood from the nose of Lally now.
I mentioned Archie Moore. He's become good friends with Archie Moore. Archie's probably watching right now out in California. He and this young man, John Scully, trade, talking on the phone about strategy, and when he got to meet him, Scully said it was a big moment for him.
He was covering up pretty well like Archie Moore.
The old mongoose.
That's right. Good work inside again by Scully. Scully making a bit of a comeback here in this round. Morton, the referee, trying to keep his punches up, although I have to say I didn't see anything low there.
The countering by Scully in this round has been very effective. Lally has gotten a little wild here.
Resorting back to the type of fighter you mentioned he was. Well, so far this fight is as advertised. Good fight. Go to work on that nose. Doesn't really appear to be anything too serious.
Bro, you gotta stop going down. You gotta stop going down. Wait, you gotta put the people down. You gotta stop going down. Wait, you fucking back. That son? No, there's none of those little short, crispy punches. Short enough and get out of there.
That is his
Please,
brother,
don't
Brad,
sit
in
there
the ring with him.
playing with this guy. He's got leverage on you. He's a bigger guy. Make your damn way in there.
Scully's countering in that last round as Lally comes in with his face wide open. I mean, it's just his hands were at his waist.
See what that round does now for John Scully as far as boosting his confidence. Probably his best round of the fight.
First one in the fight that I ended up giving him, so I thought he did better.
Punch profile from the fourth round, very comparable.
Scully with the slight edge, so it makes me feel glad that I gave him the edge in my scoring.
And again, that counter-punching right hand by Scully gets there.
I don't think he's hurting Brett Lally at all, but of course he can land points with that. And the feeling was, despite his 12 KOs, that Scully was not a devastating puncher, a good puncher, sharp puncher.
Your card so far now getting a little bit closer as a result of that last round.
I gave the last round to Scully, so I've got 3 rounds to 1, a 2-point edge for Brett Lally.
Lally's still catching, or rather Scully catching a lot of Lally's punches on the gloves.
And a very significant change in this bout. Scully now doing some very effective work to the body. And it's really slowing Brett Lally up.
And again, you see those shots being caught on the gloves of Scully.
By Scully. Some of those getting in by Lally, some are blocked, but he is landing those overhand rights pretty well.
Scully a combination again. Scully has a tendency to throw a lot of punches off his heels.
It's interesting how Scully has switched his attack to the body in the last couple of rounds. Both men now use going downstairs and upstairs.
And there you saw most of Lally's punches being caught on the arms or the gloves. And here again.
Yeah, very few of those are really landing too well, but if Lally throws 30 punches and only 2 from Scully, you got to still give Brett Lally the edge there.
Right.
Although Scully's very sharp with the countering. He's hoping maybe that Lally will punch himself out. The old Brett Lally never did, so I don't know if this version as a middleweight will.
And this one is being a little bit more patient. End of round 5, and we'll be back to Atlantic City right after this.
Brett Lally didn't land all these shots. A lot of them blocked on the arm. Some good defense by John Scully, but enough got in. And there you see the uppercut landing in between to indicate that he had a pretty good offensive round.
Starts the 6th round almost the same way, with 1 out of about 6 getting through. But the 1 did get through.
Kind of Scully's own version of the rope-a-dope in the middle of the ring. I'm surprised to see John fighting so much as a lefty here in this bout. Started out as a righty and quickly switched to the left-handed stance.
A little bit of blood now from the nose of John Scully. Both men bleeding a little bit from the nose.
Scully, a very popular boxer in Hartford, where, of course, one of the welterweight champions of the world, Marlon Starling's formerly managed by Mac Buckley. There's a little rivalry there who will capture the minds and hearts of boxing fans in that city. Good left downstairs by Lally. And it's opening things up to the head. I talked about Scully bullying him a little bit. It's been just the other way around.
In this round, it definitely has.
Brett has never been a pretty fighter, but he gets the job done because he's tenacious and doesn't quit.
Good left hand there. It's a heavy-handed puncher. I've never known what that means, but I've heard people say it.
Well, it sounds good, yes. Well, he is. He's kind of ponderous in a way. I mean, his punches will have their effect. He's not a one-punch knockout artist, but
actually, a heavy-handed puncher, when you do enough of these things, you can tell by the sound of the punch. Lally playing with him a little bit now.
Style, sticking his head out there, almost reminiscent of Doug DeWitt, the middleweight. And I just want to quickly throw in our sympathies to Doug, whose mother passed away. Now the WBO middleweight champion. We've had him on many times. And win, lose, or draw, he's a delightful person and a guy that gives his all. And we send out our sympathies to him.
Yes, we wish him well. Hope to see him soon. So we head for the end of this round. And again, the fight really not following any particular pattern, but another pretty good round for this man.
Crazy, wild, looping punches, and this one got in against John Scully over the lazy right jab.
What is it, 7?
Eight.
Sir?
I need 9 minutes. Can you give me 9 minutes?
Yeah, I'll give you 9.
Give me the top 9?
Raise your ball now. No.
9 minutes may not be enough, actually. I think he's got to have 12.
Yeah, the arithmetic wasn't quite right there. We had Lally ask his brother for 9 minutes. Well, maybe he's confident he'll knock him out in the
That's right.
Or maybe he only felt it was fair to ask for 9.
That's right. Take a look at the punch profile from the last round. And
closer than I would have anticipated.
yeah, it really was. I actually didn't think Scully was that active, to tell you the truth.
Good countering by Scully. I'd say Brett Lally has thrown maybe 4 jabs in this entire fight.
How about that?
Not known for that anyway,
but also he hasn't just been rushing in just blindly.
not normally, although he's been guilty of it some of the time. Better than in previous fights.
He's fighting like a guy who feels that he's taken Scully's best shot. I'm not sure that's true, but that's the way he seems to be fighting. He's almost taking a come on and hit me approach.
He's not worried about being hurt, but John Scully is not taking the action to him. He's really waiting on Brett Lally, and I'm not sure that, you know, it's going to be tough for him to win the fight that way. Some of these rounds are very close, but I'm just feeling in my own mind that Lally's stealing them with just being more active. This is a perfect example of a round that's there to be won. Good counter by Scully. Now, a lot of those not landing and being blocked. Good counter by Scully, but Lally throwing so many more punches.
And again, Scully countering very well.
Combinations on the inside by Scully. This is as long as he's gone, by the way. He has never been into the 7th round, John Scully. Now, this is no man's land for him. He went 6, knocking out Mike Campbell.
Big right hand that time by Lally. Forced Scully into the corner. That hurt him. Scully tries to fight out of Lally's corner. Covers up.
And what was otherwise a very good round for Scully. He's hurt now.
has to get himself out of there, tries to fight out of there, scores with the right hand.
Here's a veteran. Lally has done such a good job of keeping him in there. Tough round to score.
I was
Very
just
tough
going to say,
round.
very tough. This should be amusing if this goes the distance.
Good round.
You got to do more, though, baby. John, I'm not bullshitting. You got to really take it to this guy.
John, keep off them
Remember
ropes,
the
please.
keys
Don't
that
take
we
no
talked
punch.
about at the beginning of the show? Let's run them down now that we're 8 rounds into this fight.
Well, Scully did not get off to a quick start, and he's not been winning the battle on the inside. Lally has certainly thrown combinations, and he has worked the body. So in my mind, the reason I feel Lally is probably ahead in this fight is because he has done better in these key areas. You'll see where he got John Scully in some trouble. Overhand right. Hard. I mean, I'm not surprised Scully was surprised himself by that punch. It came from nowhere. But the countering by John Scully's been effective, and there's a good example of it with that right hand.
You want it bad now, John.
And in Scully's corner, the word from Mac Buckley is that you got to go after this guy. You got to attack him. Which is basically what you were saying.
That's exactly it. He has got to be aggressive. Now he's back as a righty. I'm not sure John Scully exactly knows which way he wanted to fight this fight. Most of it's been fought as a lefty, but here he is at a very key juncture, switching back to righty. Now, if he stays with it, that's fine. But see, there he is back to lefty. Now he's back to righty. He's not quite sure at this point.
Well, and again, you have to go back to the very first round when he got stuck with a couple of right hands early on, and that forced him to change up.
I think he has more power as a righty, and that's one of the reasons why they might want him in that posture right now. See, now he's left. This is pure instinct what he's doing now. I don't think this is part of the battle plan. It's just whichever way he ends up now, he's just going that way on instinct, and that's not going to help him, I don't think. He has lots of good boxing skills, John Scully. He's done some very nice things in there tonight. Just has really stepped up in class against a tough guy, a guy who's really hard to discourage, hard to hurt, and who throws lots of punches.
3 rounds left in this fight. Let's take a look. The way you have it, Scully's going to have to score a knockdown.
That's my feeling. Now, a lot of those rounds were close, so it could very well and appropriately be closer than that. It's just that Lally's thrown so many punches.
Scully pawing these punches a little bit more in this round.
And you can see what you said earlier, that Lally is not that respectful of whether Scully's going to hurt him. He's kind of putting his chin out there and saying, hit me, it doesn't matter. Brett Lally is so unorthodox, so awkward, so difficult to fight in there. Now, Lally is not working as well on the inside as he did earlier, not going to the body as much. He may be getting a bit fatigued. He's throwing a lot of punches. There he is going to the body now.
A lot of those on the arms. Although again, and we did say this before, that in itself can wear a man down.
And some of those body shots getting in, although, and the hooks occasionally getting in like that one. Another close round, though.
Is it hard for a counterpuncher to earn a decision?
In some cases, yes, especially if he's as sparing with his punches as I think Scully has been in this bout.
So we come down to the end of the 8th round. John Scully running out of time.
Well, Brett Lally has thrown 130 more punches than John Scully, and this is an example of how. Now, not everything landing there. He maybe got 1 out of those 4 in, but 1 did get in. And while he was punching, John Scully couldn't be, or wasn't.
And that really, if there's a storyline to this fight, that is it.
Good body work by Scully. You know, we don't want to mislead you and let you think that John Scully has not done good offensive work in this match. He has. Landed some very sharp punches, like that one. But here you get kind of the drift. You know, a lot more punches thrown by Lally. And so inevitably, you know, more are going to land. And even if you want to take some away from that 243 that you think maybe landed on the arms, you're still going to end up with a lot of punches landed for Lally. And the one thing you know, the one figure in there you got to know is accurate is the number of punches thrown. You know that figure is accurate. You might debate whether it landed, but you know more are thrown by Lally.
I never argue with the punch profile.
No, I'm not suggesting that we would, but it's just that some people might, you know, it's up for interpretation, but certainly not the number of punches. Besides, they're too close to us here at ringside. They could hurt us.
That's right. That's right. I always think of it, though, as a quantitative rather than a qualitative.
Well said, Barry. Well said. We're going to get you a job on the Saturday Night Skit, the Whiners, after that, I think.
Meanwhile, Lally staying right there and doing some good work. He's a wild swinger. And
he really is, and it's, you know, that's what he's tried to temper a bit, but then that's also one of his strengths. Now, Scully is ripping good shots in there, some. How can you take these rounds away from Lally? See, look, he's throwing so many more punches. Yes, many are blocked, but a lot are getting into the body.
And he's just stronger.
He's pushing. He's doing what I thought Scully might try and do. Lolly's the one that looks like the natural middleweight. And he really wants to fight as a junior middleweight.
Yeah, he loved it, though. He said this is the first time he hasn't had to starve himself for a fight. Actually, he came in 1 pound over the middleweight. 161.
Good right hand downstairs by Lally.
That was a good round for Brett Lally.
Okay, this is it. Get the ice behind the head. Get the ice behind the head. How do you feel? Testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2.
Testing, 1, 2.
1, 2, 3.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Breathe it.
Testing, 1, 2.
Testing.
I guess our mics are working all right, huh?
Yes, it seems like it.
This is it.
You do it, right?
Meanwhile, over in the corner of John Scully, obviously a little bit of concern here. I think it's probably with good reason.
You don't knock him out, you can fucking get it from him.
You got to beat the shit out of this.
You got to beat the fuck out of him or knock him out, or you can get it, okay?
Well, graphically said, but true.
That's right.
Here is the body work by Brett Lally. Just continuing to work and work and work. And a lot of those getting in there.
Good right hand there stopped Scully in his tracks. Lally really has taken charge of this fight now.
See, nice counters by Scully, but it's just not enough. There's the Scully jab. Oh, man. I mean, that has been a non-factor, whereas Lally, look what he's done to the body. That's been very effective for him.
And you need only harken back to the keys to victory.
I really think those two graphics there demonstrate very clearly why Scully was sent out with the orders that you got to get a knockout. That's why he is losing this fight at this point.
And even in this round, Lally continues to take it to him. Tenth and final round. And there's a big left hand. That hurt Scully.
Big step up for John Scully. He was not ready for it, apparently. Young man who's only about a year to the day away from when he lost in the Olympic trials, and has fought early and often in his pro career and won everything, but not tonight.
Max Buckley borrowing a page from the Mike Tyson book, and that is fight as often as you can. And we mentioned earlier, he had 4 fights in 21 days. He fought 20 rounds. And he fought a fight on May 1st, fought a fight on May 5th.
this was a step too quick, apparently. Sure, when they look at these tapes, one of the things they will wonder is which way was the best way to fight Brett Lally, lefty or righty? He fought most of it lefty, but occasionally switched to righty and didn't give that much of a chance either.
Lally, meanwhile, would like, should he win this decision, to go on and fight for the USBA title and then for a world title. He feels he should be able to do that in rather quick order. This would have to be considered a good win for him. Should he get it? Let's not put it in the bank quite yet.
Goes as we would anticipate. I think he definitely can be a junior middleweight, Brett Lally. I don't know that he wants to be a middleweight, but if he can get himself down to 154, good right.
Huge right hand.
He can obviously punch good enough to be a 154 pounder.
And it's over, and it was a very good 10-round fight. Chock full of action. Well, we talked about the fact that these are two pretty tough customers, and they have proven to be exactly so.
They did that, and for this young man, a big learning experience. We assume he probably will lose a decision here. He may not, but there were some close rounds. But certainly they thought in his corner he was losing as they sent him out for that 10th round. And he just wasn't quite up to the task. The guy in front of him was a veteran, a very tough fighter. I don't know if I'd say skilled because there's a lot of rough edges around Brett Lally, but he is skilled in a certain sense because he's got a lot of veteran tricks. And he's strong. And Brett Lally's stronger as a middleweight than I would have anticipated he would be.
Yeah, which is exactly what he told us this morning. Working on a little bit of a cut over the brow, although I didn't really see that during the fight.
An uppercut by Lally. Even though that didn't land, and neither did the second right real well, it shows the strength he has. He pushed Scully back with those punches.
So Brett Lally, tough night's work for him, but a good win should he get this win. And again, we don't want to make the judgment before it is official. Let's take a look at the final numbers from our punch profile. And as you can see, Lally picked up the pace, actually. At one time, remember, he'd thrown only 130 punches more, and here he winds up throwing some 217 punches more. Here's the official decision now with Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's the official scoring. Tommy scores the bout 98-92. Lynn Carter has it 98-93. And James Condon scores it 98-92 for the winner by unanimous decision, the Irish Hawk, Brett Lally.
So it does go pretty much the way we had seen it. Brett Lally is the winner by unanimous decision, does a cartwheel in his center of the ring, and we'll be back to talk with him
Tonight, and said he was happy with his performance, and why not? You haven't fought since April, so there was a little bit of a layoff. But Brett, tonight, it seemed you did the things you wanted to do. You certainly had those body shots going.
Yeah, I did. I've been working on body shots. My stamina's good, and my left and right hands both been looking good in the gym, so I was pretty excited about tonight's win, and I'll be back to the drawing board on Monday.
You landed the overhand right often, and maybe we can take a look at one here, Brett, and you can tell us how this was set up. He fought most of the fight as a southpaw.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he switched over a little bit. I was going to switch over to southpaw, but I figured no sense me trying to do anything cocky. Just go in there and do my job that I'm supposed to do, and that's what I did. Took care of business.
What's your report card on your performance tonight, and do you feel good at this weight? I know you kind of want to be more of a junior middleweight.
Well, I'll be back down in junior middleweight. I'm looking out for a couple guys in the junior middleweight. I'll be looking for a title shot later on this year. But like I said, I got to go back to the drawing board, and every day is working out hard at the gym and making sure work hard.
You feel you can fight for a title pretty soon?
Yeah, I feel real confident that I can fight for a title with the next year.
And that first fight, pretty much as we